What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today I'm going to be interviewing the Upset King. That's my new nickname for him, Bob Santos, who yesterday scored a big upset with Mario Barrios, beating and pretty much dominating your Dennis Ugas, dropping him 2 times, uh, in a very one-sided fight, in a fight where he was a very big underdog. He opened up at, I believe, at 460 plus 460 on the betting odds. And Bob Santos has gotten a few upsets in his career. He's gotten quite a few upsets. He was the man in the corner for Hector Luis Garcia when he beat Colbert. He was the man in the corner for when Pollo beat Akhmadov. And now Barrios beating your Dennis Ugas. This is a nice little trend. I'm not so sure he's making any friends at the hotels. He may not get no more comp rooms the way he keeps getting these upsets. But this is fun, man. This is fun. This is exciting stuff. And I definitely want to have him back on the show. I want to get his perspective as far as what happened in that fight. But yeah. Hold on. Let me text him. I guess I already sent him the link. So, and excuse the appearance, fellas. I'm having some computer problems. I just got a new computer, and I'm still not 100% knowing how to work it. So, we're gonna rock out like this. But definitely, it was a very good performance from Mario Barrios. I actually picked that. I actually picked him to win. I did pick Jose Armando Resendez to beat Elijah Garcia, but Elijah Garcia showed me that he not only is a good fighter, like meaning, like a brawler, he also knows how to box in case he feels he's getting the shorter end of the stick. Or maybe that's just the way he likes to start off fights. He likes to start off fights, go in a war, and then goes, all right, I can get him out of there. Let me start boxing. Either way, it was a very impressive performance by Elijah Garcia, and I definitely want to see more of him. 160 is a division that's very open, so he definitely has the opportunity to do something great. So we'll see. We'll see. Hold on, guys. Let me text Bob again. Just let him know we're live and ready to go for the interview. So just uh, my man said, I'm here to hear Bob Santos talk mad shit. That's funny. He's a good talker. He's a good talker, man. He's definitely one of my favorite people to interview. Me and him, not only do we have a great relationship, he also is a very good trainer, is a very good talker. He has these nice little sayings, and I definitely appreciate his work. I really do. I really do. But hold on, let me text him now and let him. Let me see if he can join us now. So I may come out the screen, but that's just because I'm doing this from my phone again. New computer, trying to figure out how it works. So I'll be right back. Just don't leave. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna text him, let him know we're live, and have him hop on. Oops. All right. My bad, fellas. Again, usually these things are a little bit more. Well, now we want to say a lot more comfortable when I'm doing it from the comfort of my laptop. But again, new laptop. trying to figure it out, and then I was on a time crunch. I was like, you know what? I don't want to keep the man waiting. Let me just do it from my phone. So either way, it's 2023. Honestly, the iPhone quality is still good. You can still see how good the hair is. You can still see how fire the Dominican boxing shirt is. You know what I'm saying? The shirt you could go to BroadwayJoel.com and buy. So I was like, whatever. Like one day it ain't bad. But I had to get this interview in today, man, because Bob Santos is the upset king. That's my new nickname for him. So once you see people start calling him that, just know where it came from. It came from Broadway Joel first. I'm looking forward to it because, and by the way, yo, not only was that a big upset, yo, that was for a belt. That was for the WBC interim, and you could say, oh, it's just an interim belt. Well, we all know Terrence Crawford is eventually going to move up to 54 or who knows 68 and fight Canelo, and he may just vacate those titles and that he gets elevated. So that's exactly the position in the welterweight division is right now. So it's undisputed in at the top with Crawford. Then you got Boots with the IBF interim. You got Mario Barrios with the IBF with the WBC interim. Stanionis with the WBA regular. And then the WBO, they don't have nobody in place yet. But from what I understand, Cody Crowley will be fighting with somebody. So we'll see. We'll see. Um the but yeah, that's how the welterweight landscape is shaking out. Now, do I think Mario Barrios is gonna be probably, gonna beat Boots and I don't understand the onus, and it's a tough division. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough division, but one thing you can never take away from him is he got that he got that strap that's about to get elevated. He's about to become full champion, right? You know what I'm saying? And this is a glamour division. This is a money division. He fuck around, get a big fight, he'll get a check. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, Mario Barrios, people don't give him credit. He got pop in them gloves. Every fight, pretty much every fight he's been in, at least that I've seen, with the exception of Tank and Thurman, which is his only two losses, to be funny, ironically speaking, he's dropped them or knocked them out. Like he got pop in them gloves, and you can say, "Oh, who's he dropping? Who's he knocking out?" Well, you can always say that before that. Now, well, he beat Akhmadov twice, although he dropped Akhmadov twice, although people thought he lost that fight. But now you're Dennis Ugas. You could say, "Oh, he old, he this, he that." You could say that all after the fight. Before the fight, you look at the odds. He was a very big underdog, 460 plus 460. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people made money off that. I was confused why he was such a big underdog. I thought this was going to be like looked at as a 50-50 fight, and I was picking Barrios. That honestly, but when that honestly that was my mindset. But then once I saw the odds come out, I'm like, yo, what's going on? What happened? But yeah, that's boxing for you. That's boxing for you. Something it's like that one time Luis Alberto Lopez was the underdog against Michael Conlan. This was like earlier in the year. I was like, what? He was like a plus 110. I was like, yo, y'all just giving money away. Like, what the hell y'all talking about? Like, this dude is not no underdog. So he went over there, he smoked him. I think he knocked him out like in the fourth round with a single shot. Um, so every now and then you get these cracks in the system where people go, yeah, this guy's gonna win, and then the knowledgeable fans like us go, what's going on? I like I said, y'all seen my videos. I definitely was picking Barrios to win. uh I actually thought this was before the fight. I actually thought he had a chance to stop him, and if we look at the fight, he did. He was hurting him at multiple times. He closed up the eye bad. You could say, oh, it was damage from before for the arrow fight. Yes, so what? He still damaged his eye. Uh, and then like I want to say from the 9th to the 12th, every between rounds, the doctor kept coming to check on the eye, like, yo, you all right? So he almost got the stoppage. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Shout out to Mario Barris. I actually met Mario Barris last time I was out in Vegas, and he was really busy working out, and I interviewed him. So, which I regret. I should have just went and asked, even if he told me no, I'm working. Hold on, fellas. Let me help Bob out with the link. All right, my bad, fellas, man. Again, he's having trouble with the link, so uh, yeah, we trying to get this together. Yeah, I know. Me and him, we got a good relationship. He gives me interviews and all that, and he's willing. He's trying, but he's having trouble. So I'm not too sure what's going on. Maybe I'll send him. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I send it to him a different way. I'm hopeful the new way will work because I'm trying to get this interview popping, man. I got a lot of questions that I want to ask. I'm very curious as to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Overall, though, it was a fun night of boxing with the exception of the main event. It's unfortunate that Charlo looked like he came just for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's funny. Somebody commented on one of my videos with Guzman and was like, "Oh, he's a horrible trainer and this and that and that." And I'm like, honestly, you can't blame him or Derek James. Yo, the dude didn't come to fight. He didn't let his hands go. He had his hands in his pocket the whole time. I'm like, yo, you gotta let your hands go. If you want to win a fight, you gotta land punches on the other opponent. This is basic boxing. And it looked like the stage was too big for him. It looked like he was intimidated. It looked like he was just happy to be there. Like, and he's known for being a really serious trash talker. You know what I'm saying? And in the press conferences, both here in New York, Vegas, the one leading up to the fight, the weigh-in, his energy wasn't like how it was for them other fighters, man. How he pumping his chest up, screaming and yelling, and yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he talking his shit. For this, that wasn't the case. It was kind of like, very mutual, very, very respectful. And when they were popping their shit a little bit in the last press conference the day before the weigh-in, it was kind of like it wasn't too heavy. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. I remember that one point, Canelo was trying to talk to him and was like, "Yo, I know you got skills," and he was gonna lead up to saying like, "But this is something different you're about to see." And then Charlo quickly interrupts him and goes, "Yeah, I know you got skills too. You got skills, and we know you got a good resume. And we know you got experience. We know that you're a good fighter." And I'm like, damn, like that wasn't even where Canelo was going. Canelo was going like, "Yo, you got skills, but you haven't seen nothing like this before." That's what Canelo was getting at. Well, hold on one second, man. This thing is growing crazy. What the fuck? Yeah, he's always been able to join in, no problem. But oh, y'all don't hear me? Y'all don't hear me? I don't know. Then this thing is wilding. Then hold on. Let me put the link in the chat, man. Let me see if Let me see if y'all want to hop on while we wait for Bob. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Link in the chat. Link in the chat, man. Anybody want to hop on? Tell me their opinion. Hop on, man. Talk with Big Broadway. We could chop it up, and then once Bob's come on, I gotta kick you out. But we'll see. We'll see if he can hop on. If not, then I guess this will just be a live just with me, um, talking about the fights. Again, very disappointed. Very disappointed. Look, last night, this is what I can. Oh, by the way, I didn't even talk about the Erickson Lubin Jesus Ramos fight. Yo, I thought Jesus Ramos was gonna knock out Lubin. Now I saw this fight at a bar, and I, I, I I thought Lubin was winning the rounds clearly. Ramos was landing good body shots, but I don't think he landed anything that really was affecting Lubin. But from what I heard on Twitter and other people who watched the fight at their home and stuff like that, was that the commentating was really bad. That Lubin was not getting credit for none of those jabs and movement and controlling the pace and the distance of the fight. Uh, I just don't know. Jesus Ramos didn't land anything of significance. Oh, hold on. I got my
Over to the down the hallway
Bob.
here. I finally got in, my man.
How you doing, my man? Oh, you cutting out a little bit. You go walking somewhere where you get better service?
Over here.
Yeah. All right. Guys, just bear with us. Bob is walking somewhere where he'll have better connection where we can do this interview and we could talk about his big. Oh, I guess he walked the wrong way. Hold on one second. All right.
All right, we coming up here. Let me get
Oh
sit
no, good. Take
situated.
your
Sit
time. Take
down
your
here.
time. I want you to. I want you to be
Okay, we good.
comfortable. All
Yeah, we
right,
good.
everybody. I have here the Upset King. That's his new nickname. When you hear other people calling Bob Santos the Upset King, just know it came from this channel. My man, how you doing? Congratulations.
We doing good. We doing good. We had a little chip on our shoulder. Obviously, when they started us out as a 6-1 underdog. So I guess upset king. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, listen, I know you live out in Vegas, but the way you've been getting these upsets, I don't think you're gonna get any comp rooms anytime soon, man. I think you might put Vegas out of business the way you getting all these upsets.
Well, I got a lot of high fives leaving the arena. That's for sure, man. A lot of people said, "Man, thank you for that parlay." I said, "Well, you got it, baby."
Hey, listen, listen. I know you're not a gambler, man, because we've spoken enough. Because I know you're a Christian, but let's just say I owe you dinner. Let's just say that, okay? Is that okay? Can I buy you dinner? Is that a Christian thing to do?
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. No problem.
All right, all right. Well, first I want to start off. When you saw the odds, were you shocked how much of an underdog Barrios was?
Um, I thought 6-1 was a little bit of a stretch. I could see 3-1, 4-1. Obviously, he beat Pacquiao. Obviously, he's an Olympian. He was a bronze medal winner at the Olympics. Mario Barrios is a kid that um, didn't have the amateur pedigree. Nobody really wanted him, and I took him from his first pro fight. No big offers, no anything of that nature. It was a 122-pound stringly kid that nobody really wanted. Started his amateur career off at like 2-19. So that'll tell you everything you need to know. And at the end of the day, again, he beat Pacquiao. He had, some real strong wins. And so 3-1, I guess, but 6-1, I thought that was just, that was just just a slap in the face. Nobody giving us any opportunity to win. And, and that at the end of the day, too, I think we let people know we can coach too. We outbox the boxer.
Were you surprised how dominant Barrios was? You remember I spoke with you on the phone. I forget when it was. I think it was Friday. And I told you I'm picking you guys. So I knew you guys were gonna win. I'll be lying to you if I knew you guys were gonna make it look that easy and dropping him two times, almost get the stoppage because after I want to say the ninth round, the doctor kept checking his eye between rounds, so you almost got the stoppage. Uh,
Well, I mean, truth be told, in the 12th round, if I would have told him to press on the tank, we would have got the stoppage. I knew Ugas was in bad shape. I thought they could have stopped the fight probably in the 10th round just for his own sake. And I'll tell you the truth, if I really wanted Barrios to really turn it up, because you could see we were in great condition, he wasn't breathing hard, and if we would have really turned it up on him, there's no two ways about it. We'd have got the stoppage. To me, he was looking for a way out. He spit his mouthpiece out 3 different times. Um, I thought the doctor could have stopped the fight. And I know Ugas. I worked in his corner. And I do have some compassion in humanity. You know, of course, it's a sport. The best man's going to win. At that point, I felt he had no chance to win. And I told Barros in the 12th, if you look in between the fight rounds, I said just use the jab a little bit, move around, and he was taking a lot of punishment. But there's no two ways about it. If I would have sent him in there and said, hey, man, seek and destroy, just take his ass out, there's no two ways about it. He would have stopped him.
why not try to make that statement and stop him?
You know what? We won the fight. I knew we won the fight clearly. We dropped him 2 times. We were winning the fight dominantly. He was taking a lot of punishment. Um, I, I was just surprised, you know, with the doctors, you know, looked at him 3 times. The eyes completely shut. His mouth is completely busted up. He's spitting the mouthpiece out. To me, at that point, you know, he's looking for somewhat of a way out of the fight.
So you
And
no, but what I'm saying is, well, why you said you didn't want him to press for the
no,
knock?
I told him in the 12th round. I actually told him in the press round 2 things. One, I could see he was taking a tremendous amount of punishment. Um, there's a 99.9% chance we're going to get the stoppage and he's going to get completely blasted. But at that point, you know, the only thing that's going to happen is Ugas is going to take a tremendous amount of damage. And the caveat to that is, though, too, his only chance was a miracle punch. So why are we going to even give him that?
I got you. So there was some sort of being
There was
careful,
there was there,
but
there was compassion there.
I got
And like this, I've worked with Ugas in the past. I know Ugas very well. I'm good friends with his manager, Louis DeCuba Senior. I mean Junior. And at the end of the day, I already knew we had won the fight in dominant fashion. His only chance was a lucky punch. Did I think that was even going to be possible to come? He never hurt us during the fight, so no. Most likely, 99% chance we would have got the stoppage, but you know, why even roll the dice at that point? I know we're in Vegas and you got to roll the dice sometime, but at that point, it's not necessary. We won the welterweight championship of the world, and now we got a Mexican welterweight champion on our hands, and so we're very fortunate for that.
no, for sure. I how much extra was this win satisfying? The fact that we do know recently a lot of your fighters left and now training with Ismail Salas. Uh, we know you guys have your differences. How much extra was like, yeah, like I beat Salas, how much was it that the rivalry between you guys?
Well, one thing is the guys that left, they were winning with us. Not one of them lost, and I hope they continue to win and do what they did with us. So, and I wish them the best. Um, to me personally, I think that was a managerial issue, and I think he's close with some of their managers. In terms of Salas, it's not so much that there's a lot of banter, a lot of talk, but at the end of the day, the fighters get in there and fight. And but I think what we did prove is to everybody, we can coach too. We can coach too out of our gym too. Okay, we can coach too. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. we can't take this many upsets, and it's just luck and we don't know what we're doing. I've been in this game 31 years too. So, we can coach too.
So you feel like you made a statement last night, like, all right, Salas, great coach, yes.
I feel we made a statement. Look, when you take a guy who's a 2-19 amateur to start his career, and we going up against an Olympian, you got a 400 fight Olympian, and we outbox the boxer.
Mm. Ha-
Okay. Period. We outbox the boxer. Anybody can say whatever they want to say, and and at the end of the day, it's the fighters who win and lose the fights, right? But we prepare them the best that we can. But what we did prove is we can coach too.
Is this the first time you go against Salas, like where you're the head trainer in one corner, he's the head trainer in another? Is this the first time?
I don't know. I've been in this game 31 years. I've worked so many different corners, and I never really get caught up in too many times of Robert Garcia, or Freddie Roach, or whoever the case may be, or any of these guys. The fighters did get in there and fight. I prepare for the fighter. I'm not so much worried about what their coach is, who their coach is. So I'm sure we've probably crossed paths before. I don't know. Like I said, I've been in this game. I think I've been a professional head coach longer than he has, right? Because I don't know when he defected to this country, so I don't know. But I've been in this game a long, long time.
Well, well, I'm talking specifically as a head trainer. You haven't been a head trainer for that long, or you could correct me if I'm
Well,
wrong.
no, no, man. That's another thing people forget. I'm Mario Barrios' head coach from his first pro fight, right? So I've been around a long time. I've been Jose Salaya was #1 in the world. I took him to the 2000 Olympic trials, okay, and I had him. It took him to #1 in the world. I was his head coach. So uh, the list goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, I'm happy for Mario Barrios that he won the world championship, and I think we let people know that we can coach too, and we know what we're doing.
Do you feel you get the respect you deserve as a trainer?
um, Yeah, I guess that depends. That's all up to people's perceptions, people's opinions, and things of that nature. You know how this sport is.
I'm talking about your feelings. Your feelings. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like when you walk in a boxing gym, when you walk in at a weigh-in where there's other trainers, when you speak to
Oh
fans,
no, when it's
you
Robert
look at
Garcia,
Twitter?
no, when it's Ronnie Shields, Robert
Bob
Garcia.
Santos,
Let's go,
the
baby.
man, baby.
Let's go.
The man.
Um,
That's another
when
guy you made rich.
Yeah, when it comes down to Freddie Roach, when it comes down to the late great Emmanuel Stewart, obviously he since passed. Joe Goosen, any of these type Hall of Fame coaches, if you talk to them about me, I get that respect. If I go into their gym, I'm going to get the utmost respect. Right? There's a lot of haters out there, a lot of backstabbing that going on, and people try to say this, try to say that. But the people that really matter in the sport of boxing, the people that know. Um, People like I said, like the Joe Goosens, the Ronnie Shields, the Freddie Roaches. Um, I definitely know I have their respect. Robert Garcia, we definitely know that.
Okay, all right. So, no, because when you said the reason I asked that question, because you said, I wanted to let them know we can coach too. So that's why I asked. I'm like, does he feel not respected, or is that a message to someone specifically, whether it be a Salas or the management of the
No,
pre?
I think it's the management of some of these Dominicans and things of that nature. We can coach too. You came over with us. You won big fights with us. Not one of you lost. And so then what was the decision making for the reason in the change? I don't know. Only they can say that to themselves. But I know one thing. They didn't lose with us. They won world titles with us. And I hope they can continue to do what they did with us.
Do you feel a bit betrayed by the fighters or by the management or by whoever? Do you feel betrayed? Because me and you, we have a different kind of relationship where I know that you had a close relationship with these guys, and now they're no longer with you. You know, so do you feel a little bit betrayed?
No, I have great respect for Pollo. I know he has great respect for me. I know Carlos Adames has great respect for me, and I have great respect for him. And nobody could ever take away the fact that those guys won their first world title with me, Bob Santos, as their head coach. Nobody could ever take the fact away that me and Carlos Adames had his title defense with me by stoppage. Um, so I'm very fortunate and was very blessed to be able to be a part of their career, win world championships with them. Pollo was the first 140 pounder ever to win a world championship for the Dominican Republic, and for me to be a part of that, I'm very blessed. It's unfortunate though that sometimes the powers that be and people that guide these guys' careers for whatever reason, they see things in a different light or a different way, or may have friendships or relationships with other people. Um, that they put first and foremost for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, as far as boxing goes, as far as winning goes, when they were with us, they won at the championship level, and hopefully they continue to do so. Why that move was made, you'd have to ask their management.
Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, well, talk to me about Hector Luis Garcia, Luis Nunez. Uh, uh, so not all the Dominicans have left. Talk to me about those guys. How those guys looking? Do we have a date or prospective date for either of those guys, or what's the status? Talk to me about those guys.
With Hector Garcia, I'm not 100% sure what his exact status is with his date. With Luis Nunez, we're looking hopefully to have him on the Benavides card out in San Antonio, and I think that's going to be coming up in late November. So no, you're right. Not all the Dominicans left, and Hector Garcia, he's a real one. I love that kid to death, and and he's another one. You think about what me and him did with the Chris Colbert upset. Then people forget, and I had this problem a little bit with like Robert Guerrero, right? We lose to Floyd Mayweather, and people are like, "Oh, he lost to Floyd Mayweather," and he should have done. And they just hear the names and they don't realize, like, well, Robert Guerrero turned pro as a 122 pounder, right? So to go up to 47, do you understand what kind of an accomplishment that was? That being said, same thing with Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia fought right in the amateurs in a lightweight in the Olympics, 26 pounds, right? Fought a lot of his career as a 26 pounder. He fought the Chris Colbert fight at 130. He had maybe one fight at 130 in and around, and he fought Chris Colbert and beat him. Then he fights Gutierrez at 130. So it was the second or third fight with Gutierrez at 130. Then he jumps up to 35 and he fights Tank, right? So put that in perspective. Weight classes do play a role, as Charlo found out late last night. Weight classes play a role. Even though you're a big guy, if you haven't been at that weight and at least established yourself in that weight, that you think about what Garcia did to go beat Colbert, beat Gutierrez, and then jump up another weight class. You had already jumped up another weight class. Now we're going up two weight classes, right? So you even like Tank, go up to 47 right now. As great as Tank is, go up to 47 right now. Jump up two weight classes. It ain't that easy.
Mm.
It ain't that easy, right?
No,
So that's why Hector Garcia, he's a real one, and he deserves all the credit and the accolades that he deserves. And now he go back and he'll defend his title at 130 pounds, and I love Hector to death. And in a lot of ways, he changed my life, because he's the first and foremost reason that I did win Trainer of the Year with that upset with Chris Colbert. You know what I mean? I mean, he was the leading reason that I won that. So he changed my life in a lot of ways, and I changed his.
no, for sure, for sure. That
So
that
I knew he wasn't leaving based on what manager said or anybody said. I knew that was one guy that said, "I don't care what the manager said. This I won't fight no more." You can put the brakes and pump on that. I ain't going nowhere, coach. I said, "Well, that's great, man. That's good to hear."
that's definitely great to hear. Uh, Talk to me about Joel Casamayor, man. I was out in Vegas roughly a month ago, and the difference from every time I've gone to your gym was night and day with Joel Casamayor. The energy that guy brings to the gym is absolutely amazing. He was a fantastic fighter, gold medalist, how many times world champion. And I see him working with these guys, and I love what he's bringing to your stable. I love how he has them moving their feet and using angles and talk to me about the addition of Joel Casamaya. I know you guys go back. What is he bringing to the table that is adding to your stable?
Well, me and him go back almost 30 years, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Me and him been together a long time. I was with him at Joe Goosen's gym for a long time during the Diego Corrales fights. And I was with him, unfortunately, in his last fight with Timothy Bradley in his corner. So I've been with Joel Castmore a long, long time. That's what I'm talking about. See, people that don't see Joe Goosen knows the sport. Ronnie Shields, they know. People that know, they know, right? Bob Santos has been around a long time, been in a lot of camps and a lot of gyms. A lot of people, that don't know, just get into the sport and they could say this and say that, and that's how fighters end up moving to different gyms and this and that. I don't think he has the knowledge, but if you really talk to people and like I said, me and Castmore have been together almost 30 years, and I was with him in his last pro fight. But the energy that he brings, he's family to me. Joel, we've been together a long, long, long time. We lived together. He came out and stayed with me and my parents many, many, many years ago. With my family and things of that nature. And so, Louis DeCubis Jr. obviously that had him and that I worked with for a long, long time. So, I'm just very happy to be him. You see the energy that he brings and just every day. And he's a really, really great person. And the knowledge that he brings too. I mean, remember, this is a gold medal winner, but not only a gold medal winner, he was the most outstanding fighter of the 92 Olympics over Oscar De La Hoya. He's a multiple world champion. And like I said, we spent a lot of time together. We did a lot of camps together out there in Van Nuys and Joe Goosen's gym and traveling together and Wild Card, me and him living together and being in camps with James Toney. But I digress. I don't want to go on. We don't know too. We don't have too much knowledge over here at our gym. We just amateur night, I guess.
And you just that little jab you threw is why I asked the question earlier. Do you feel you get your respect? Because me. I was pounding the table last year for you. I was definitely making sure you got your credit because what you were doing with these fighters and scoring all these upsets and winning world titles.
And we're dealing with underdogs, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, and
everybody can like I said, take the Mario Barrios of the world that started their amateur career at 2-19. I took him from his first pro fight as his head coach. Don't tell me what kind of coaches guys are when you got 400 fight Olympians, okay? Take those type of guys. Take underdogs and this and that. And proof is in the pudding. And I've done it. And we've done it as a team. And so proof is in the pudding. And like I said, but when it comes to Ronnie Shields or a Freddie Roach or a Robert Garcia, I know I get my respect. When it comes to Louis DeCubis Jr., I know I get my respect. When it comes to an Al Heyman, I know I get my respect. I know the guys that know.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there's some guys that are around the fringes and some of these managers who get locked up with some of these trainers and the backstabbing and this guy didn't have the knowledge or he doesn't this or he doesn't that and you know how this business is and how this sport is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I shifting the conversation a little bit. I also know you work with David Morrell. Uh, what can you tell me about David Morrell, and also does he have a date coming up, an opponent, anything, any news regarding David Morrell? But also, what is it you do exactly for him?
Well, David Morrell, I was with him for a long time when he was out in Minnesota. Helping him with preparation, helping him with a lot of different things as he was transitioning into the program, being in his corner, and and doing everything I could to help him transition, from the amateurs to the professionals. Obviously, he's out in Houston right now with Ronnie Shields, who's a great coach. Before that, um, he was with a guy by the name of Sakari out in Minnesota. Um, and I thought the guy did a good job. I was working with him out there in Minnesota, but Louis DeCubas Senior felt that they needed to make a change, and so they made that change and took him out to Ronnie Shields and so forth. So, but Dave is a tremendous fighter, a great person, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
Any word on when he's gonna fight or who?
I thought it looked like everything was lined up for him to fight Benavides. I don't know how things fell through or why they fell through, but they did. And at this point, I don't know who's lined up to fight him at this point.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, who else do you have lined up to fight? I know. I guess Nunez and Hector. They're most likely gonna fight in November. No date is set. But is that who you got? But by the way, let's go in depth about Nunez. Let's go that. How do you like having Luis Nunez? What have you seen from him? A lot of my fan base has been hounding me to interview him more. Talk to me about his talent level. What have you seen and his dedication as well?
You know what? Since he's been out with me, you know, he don't say no to anything. So it's like we're gonna run here. Okay, we're gonna spar here. Okay, we're going to Mayweather's gym to go spar. Okay, the kid never says no, right? So he's one of those kids that sometimes you got to just kind of pull him back, and that's a great thing to have as a kid that is willing to work hard. He's willing to listen. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. He wants to be in the big fights, and he wants the opportunity. So hopefully those opportunities come his way, because definitely I can see he's a hard worker, he's a talented kid, but he's a good person.
Have well, what has he impressed you about you? What has he done that's impressed you? Whether it be speed, power, defense,
You
footwork.
know what? He's got great athleticism. He's got naturally God given great athleticism, great ability. Um, and he has a great understanding of what he wants to do in the ring, where his strengths and weaknesses are, and I think that's his best ability. He knows where he needs to be in terms of his range for what he wants to do, and with his own athleticism. So obviously that's something that he's developed over the years, and a lot of experience in that area, and that's what I see so far with him with a lot of sparring sessions.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you about there's a fight with a Dominican. I know you don't train him, but you a knowledgeable person in boxing. Edwin de los Santos will be fighting Shakur Stevenson. What's your opinion on that fight? Because a lot of people saying Shakur is gonna, wipe the floor with him. It's gonna be 11 rounds to 1, 12 rounds to 0. You're the upset king, so I kind of want to know your perspective on the fight. And don't worry if you feel a certain way against a Dominican, you're still good in my book. I just want
No,
to know
no,
your
no,
opinion.
no. Hey, man, I love the Dominicans. Don't get it.
no,
Hey, it had nothing to do with the Dominican fighters. Carlos
no.
Adames, I
I'm
got big
saying if
love
you're
for.
against, if you're picking against De Los Santos, I'm saying you're good with me. I'm saying like you don't got to worry about me
Oh, okay.
jumping on you. That's what I meant.
No, yeah, you know, De Los Santos can punch, right? He can box too. He proved he can box. He can punch. I think what he has to do is, if he goes in there and just looks at it as a fight. I'm not fighting Shakur Stevenson. It's just a fight. It's another guy. If he can compartmentalize and do that, he has a great chance for the upset. There's no two ways about it. Or it's going to be a very competitive fight. It's going to be a very competitive fight. When Shakur fight Concepcion, everybody's like, oh, Shakur just. No, Concepcion had moments too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I hear the commentators. Shut the commentating off. Shut
Yeah,
the commentating off. Shut the commentating off and just watch the fight. So he had moments too. Don't act like this guy don't get touched up, like he don't get hit, and like, yeah, he's great. He's superior. He's tactically great. You can't take nothing away from him. He's a tremendous fighter, but he ain't in there just mashing dudes and just mauling them out and just taking them out. I mean, hell, he hit Concepcion with 30 low blows on that night, and he still couldn't get him out of there. Okay, so and that's the truth, you know. I just keep it 100, right? And I love Shakur. Matter of fact, I just talked with one of his coaches the other day because I'm gonna help him get some sparring to help him get ready for that fight. Believe it or not, right? So everybody's pretty close in this business, for some of my guys to get them experience with him. But Dallas Santos, like I said, if he goes in there and doesn't look at it like it's Shakur, doesn't get caught up in like, man, this is going to be the thing that changes my life. Just focus to boxing. He does that. He got a great chance for an upset, or it's going to be a much more competitive fight than people think.
What do you think is the key tactic Edwin should do in that fight? Like
No
if you,
respect. You can't give him any respect.
I got you. So more the mentality as opposed
You
to,
can't give him any respect.
I got
If you give him respect and you let him talk, he'll talk you out of your lunch money, right? I watched him sparring this and that. He'll talk you out of your lunch money.
you. Okay. All right. All right. Tell Hector to. I don't want to see him sparring with Shakur. We're
You
not
know what's
helping him.
funny? That's the one that they hit up for Hector to spar with, right? So we were going to spar with him, but Hector's like, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So tell Dallas Santos he got that's what I'm telling you about Hector Garcia. He's a real one. Ain't no managers telling me, man, you got to do this. You got to. I'm here and I'm winning, and ain't happening. He's a real loyal guy. I get it. A lot of the fighters got to do what their management or their promoters say to a degree. But sometimes you could just say, hey, no, ain't happening. I ain't doing it. I'm doing this, and that tells you what kind of person Hector is, though, too. Because, like I said, when they asked him to spar, he's like, nah, I'm not. I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not going to help this guy out to go against my fellow Dominican. And let Dallas Santos know that. And let all the Dominicans know that. That's what you got in Hector Garcia, man. That's why you got to rally around that guy. He's a real one.
I'll definitely relay that message back to Edwin. Edwin will be in Vegas in a couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. Would you allow Edwin to go spar with, I mean, Hector to go spar with Edwin? Is that something you would allow?
Of course, we would help him give him some work. We got to get the Dominicans over the top, baby. Let's go.
No, for sure. And as you know, Hector is somewhat like the big homie. Like he's the oldest out of this crop. He's also one of the most accomplished in the amateurs. He three-time silver medals in the Pan American Games, and in the Olympics, he got, man. It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life. And
Well,
one,
hey, we all know what happened with that, right? Of all the stuff that happened with that, they were talking about not even having boxing for a while in the Olympics because it was
yeah,
so
it
bad.
came out. It came out that was one of the fights that was corrupted.
Yeah,
So it's not
unfortunately,
even.
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, but that's. And if people talk about professional boxing, man, amateur boxing is like 20 times worse.
You know what? I love the sport of boxing, and sometimes we're in this sport, and sometimes boxing gets a bad rap, but it isn't just boxing. It's life in general. It's human beings. We got some great doctors out there, and we got some doctors out there be prescribing stuff that they shouldn't be prescribing to people. And so you got some great lawyers out there, and you got some bad lawyers out there. And the same thing with boxing. Sometimes boxing gets too bad of a rap in terms of it's corrupt. It's this. No, 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 no. You got good politicians. You got bad politicians. You got good doctors. You got bad doctors. Anytime you have people involved in anything, professional football, uh, in the educational, whatever it is, you can have good people and you got bad people. And it's unfortunate. And hopefully, when those people are caught, they should be held to account.
Well, I wanted to ask you, in Adama's last fight,
Mm-hmm.
after the fight, you and Breadman, yeah, it looked like you had a tense moment. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna get a little too descriptive, but you had a tense moment where trash was being talked. You know what I'm saying, on both sides. Nobody's innocent. What happened there, and is it something that's like that's lingered, or is that was just in a moment? Like what happened there between you guys?
There was a couple little things leading up to that, but it was left in the moment. I have big respect for Breadman and Big Mike that works in his corner, and I actually and J Rock, I actually worked with J Rock in the past too, right?
Okay.
So like I said, I've been around a little bit. So I worked with J Rock in the past too. So there was a little bit of a little bit of animosity and things of that nature building up to the fight, but it got in the heat of the moment. But at the end of the day, we're all professionals, and professionalism always played out. And so I have respect for him, and I know he has big respect for me.
Have you guys seen each other since then?
Yeah, I seen Breadman, and even after the fight, and had talked to him, and everything was fine.
It's cordial. Everything is just kind
Yeah,
of
everything's fine. Yeah.
all right, all right, all right. No, no. Well, Bob. Thank you so much for giving me your time, man. Again, congratulations. You're the upset king. You know what I'm saying? I think that nickname has a nice ring to it. Uh,
I got to get the
Barring,
patent on that, right? I got to get the trademark on that.
yeah, yeah.
Get them
I
shirts,
know.
the Upset King. They got DraftKings, right? They got DraftKings with the best. DraftKings with the Upset King. If you want to make
There
money,
you
go
go.
DraftKings with the Upset King. Let's go,
Dra-
baby.
DraftKings, right there. I got you guys a guy who will be a sponsor. He's a good talker, good looking guy. I don't. He's the hardest working man in boxing. When he's not in the corner as a cut man, he's in the corner as a head trainer. Sometimes as an assistant trainer or as a strength and conditioning coach. I think this guy. When's the last? Hold on, Bob. When was the last time you paid to go watch a fight?
Oh man, it's been a long time. I pay. I'll tell you what. I haven't paid to watch a fight, but I paid my dues to be at those fights. That's for
No, for
damn sure.
sure, for sure. No, because I'm like, there's very few fights on TV where I go and I'm like, oh, look at Bob. I didn't know he was training this guy. I didn't know he was, oh, he's working his cuts and this and that. And I'm like, Bob is always at these fights. He never has to buy a ticket. I'm like, maybe you buy a pay per view if you're not, you don't work, not working every single event. But I'm like, when is the last time Bob actually went on Ticketmaster, bought a seat, and sat down and enjoyed the fight as a fan? It's been a while, right?
It's been a long time.
Well, Bob,
Thank God for that.
yeah, no, Bob, thank you so much for the opportunity to interview you. Congratulations on your recent win. And keep these upsets coming, man. Keep these upsets coming. Uh,
And keep the Dominicans coming. I love the Dominicans. I love working with the Dominican fighters. I mean, I love working with all the fighters, that's for sure. But the Dominicans are near and dear to my heart, obviously. And the one that really just bridged the gap like nobody's business was Hector Garcia. I mean, me and him, you know, when we get ready for fights, we live together, right? He lives with me, and so it's great to see him every morning, every day, because we both look at each other as like, I know I changed your life, and you changed my life. You know what I mean? So that it's really really special, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that means a lot to me. So like I said, fighters sometimes come and go for whatever reasons, whether it's for management, whether it's for promotions and things of that nature. But no animosity towards any of those guys. I want the best for those guys. I love those guys because at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to make a living and provide for their families, and that's what it's all about. So I want to see Alberto Puello be successful, Carlos Adames, all those types of guys are good people, and just want them to be successful and the best for them and their families.
uh, I said that was my last question. I wanted to bring something up too. So a lot of people don't know you're Puerto Rican, right? So
Yeah.
you know what's funny? I took a class in college. It was called Latinos in U.S. Communities. That was the name of the class, and I learned about Puerto Ricans that were getting a job opportunity in Hawaii, and on along the way they made three pit stops from Puerto Rico on boat. They went for, I believe it was Texas or Louisiana. I'm not sure. Some just decided to stay there, and the rest went to Northern California. Some just decided to stay there, and then the rest out of there went to Hawaii. So I actually learned about your family, your people, how they ended up in Northern California, and now we have a relationship. So I learned about your people in college, and another thing, there's like a rivalry between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. That's just through baseball, politics.
Oh, baseball. Let's
It's just
go.
it's just a big rivalry, and it's cool to see that you being Puerto Rican, being a key player into helping Dominican boxing out. I don't know why I just said that, but I just remember learning about how your people ended up in Northern California. At least to my knowledge, that's what I learned. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a different reason or how they got there, please correct me. But
No, my mom's family in Northern California, there's a lot of agriculture, obviously. And so, even me, I used to pick fruit in the fields as a kid.
really,
Yeah. So, um, and that was a big part of the Bay Area is now known as the technology capital of the world, Silicon Valley, San Jose, where I'm from, is Silicon Valley. But when we were growing up in kids, we were the agricultural capital of the world. Apricots and strawberries and Watsonville and things of that nature. And that's what's funny too. Here's a quick story for you. I used to run the PAL program in San Jose with the amateur program, and Eddie Reynoso, okay, Chapo, the father, who's the one that started Canelo and had Oscar Laros. I go back to those days with Oscar Laros. He actually ran a lot of the amateur kids in Watsonville 40 minutes from us, right? So that's how long ago I've been coaching, even in these days, just to let people know. So when they start saying, "Oh, you know how the people try to do it, and they try to dismay you and this and that," talk to Chapo Reynoso about me too. Yeah, I've been around a long, long, long time. But he was at, it's funny, he was out there actually too from Mexico, came up to Watsonville because he used to pick strawberries,
wow.
right? So that tells you, kind of the upbringing where I'm from, the hard work ethic and stuff like that. So to me, when I see a Carlos Adames, an Alberto Puello, a Hector Luis Garcia, I know what it's like to come from poverty and poor families and having to pick fruit and make your way up and being around that. You know what I mean? So that's why to me, it's not just about this guy's a Dominican, this guy's a Puerto Rican, we're all human beings. We're all, to me, from the good Lord Jesus Christ. And at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to provide for their family and do the best that they can to put food on the table and give their kids and their family a better life than they had.
No, no, for sure, and you definitely have helped put them in position to do that, and and it, I'm sure whatever you lost out on some of the fighters, but that doesn't mean, look, you lose them and then look, boom, you get Luis Nunez, another Dominican, and I'm sure there's other Dominicans that have seen the work you've done, and through my channel know your history and may want to go there. So, hey, good luck with
We're
everything.
here, man. The gym's always open. The doors are always open to the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans. Let's get it, baby.
For sure, for sure. I'll be there. I'll be there always to document it. Anytime I go to Vegas. I don't know if you remember last time I came straight from the
I don't know.
airport.
Can I say this because you're a journalist? You're my guy. I don't care what nobody's gonna say. I don't know if I can say that. Should I
You
say
can,
it
you
on
can.
thing? It might, if it makes it a little biased or whatever. But I know you're a journalist. You got to do your job. You call it like you see it. You may say, and we've had talks before. You're like, Bob, I think your guy could have did a little better here, a little better there. So you an honest journalist down the line, but you still my guy no matter what.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Again, I pride myself on always trying to be honest with people.
Yeah,
Even if the
that's the way it's
criticism
got to be.
is harsh.
You got to take the good with the bad. That's what comes with this sport, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I pride myself in that, but again, same thing. I try my best to be unbiased, but Bob is my guy. Always been welcoming me into his gym, and anytime I hit him up for an interview, he's look, now it's early in the morning over there. Boom, next day after a big fight, he's giving me the. Have you done any other interviews? I know at the press conference. I'm talking about.
No, I didn't even do the press conference. I left out of the press conference, man. I was just so happy for Barrios. And after the fight, we didn't even do the press conference. I was just so happy for him,
Yeah.
and we just came back to the hotel and just, kind of celebrated a little bit with him and his family because, like I said, there was a chip on that shoulder. We started off at almost a 7-1 or a 6-1 underdog, so we had a chip on our shoulder. We had something we had to prove, and we got the job done and did it.
No, no, for sure, man. You guys definitely did. I appreciate the exclusive interview. Everybody who's gonna get an interview now is is getting sloppy seconds. So I appreciate you coming on my channel, man. And you're always welcome here anytime you want. And for sure, I may be in Vegas in a couple weeks. I'm not 100% sure. If I do, I'll definitely pass by, say hello. See the ambiance of the gym and definitely support you guys.
You got it, man. God bless you, and thank you, Broadway Joel, baby. Dominican boxing, ain't nobody better. And you
Thank you.
get that YouTube subscription, baby. Let's go.
Hit the YouTube subscription, hit the like button, go to Broadway Joel, buy a Dominican boxing shirt. How you like the shirt?
Baby, come on. You know I'm repping it in the gym all the time. You know
Beautiful
how we do it.
quality, is
Come
great
on, man.
quality. You'll have the same shirt Bob has, Hector has, Adames. So definitely go to
All the
BroadwayJoel.com.
big boys.
But all right, guys, until next time, peace.